Hi, hello everybody. I'm Sam Simpson. I'm CEO of Founder Catalyst. We are by far the most cost-effective way of getting SEIS and EIS advance assurance and closing your funding round. We produce all the legals you need to do that. So why am I talking through pitch decks? Well, firstly, I'm an exited founder. I grew a company from 0 to 30 million in 4 years and then exited to private equity. I see thousands of pitch decks because I've got investor in my title on LinkedIn, but also with my Founder Catalyst hat on, I see hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pitch decks a month. I am an angel investor myself, so I've invested in 32 companies now over the last 6.5 years, with about $750,000 deployed. So I see loads of pitch decks, and I get a feel for what's good, the bad, and the other. So let's jump into it, shall we? Mabuhay, I think that's pronounced. Okay, so first page, interesting. The title slide looks minimal and old school. And I noticed at the bottom, this is from 29th of January. So hopefully I am reviewing the right version that they have submitted. So I'm guessing it's a crypto exchange. That's why everybody mentions exchange. It's a little ambiguous about what they do. And the eyes thing looks unusual and misplaced. On the bright side, it's consistently themed. Yeah, I don't particularly like the green, but that's trivial to change. So I'll focus on content rather than commenting on the style moving forward. Really good to see a standard flow of, what's the problem, what's the solution, and so on. So 90% of traders are losing. It feels to me already that this is a talk through deck rather than a walkthrough. There's just not enough information really for me to understand the problem specifically. And some of the items here, for example, I don't think anybody can understand what untaxed means. I do know something about crypto, so I bought, very proud to say, I bought a couple of Bitcoin back in 2013 for about £700 each or something ridiculous that I still cling on to for dear life. So it's a space I'm vaguely familiar with, but the problem space really isn't resonating with me. It doesn't also talk to what I think is probably the biggest problem in this space, which is, exchanges going missing or being robbed of all of the coins there. And I think, if I were, and I don't use an exchange myself, I hold my own wallet, but if I used an exchange, I'd be worried about people disappearing with all of my coins. But anyway, you can kind of guess at what they're aiming at here, but it's not particularly clear at all. Crypto exchange plus social media plus tax platform. Okay, I mean, there's a little bit on the differentiator here. I think it's a relatively mature and sophisticated market, ignoring the scams and people running away with billions of pounds. But, it is a relatively sophisticated space. So I don't know all of the platforms out there. In fact, I don't know any of them really. But I would be amazed if some of the platforms don't solve at least some of these. So hopefully there's a differentiator slide and we can kind of walk through what the differentiation is. Okay, market size. Yeah, I kind of guessed the stuff on the right's okay. I have no way of validating, but seems okay. Some seems relatively low considering the TAM and SAM, but okay. And I don't know what the pie chart on the left has to do with the TAM, SAM, SOM figures. Yeah, so generally confused so far. Go to market. Okay, so multiple countries, referrals, social media. Exchanges are a numbers game. It's about capturing a significant part of the market, and this doesn't probably do that justice. And this feels very me too. Everybody's going to work on referrals. Everybody will do social media, traders and partnerships. It doesn't really speak to what will differentiate this. I get the multi-market thing. Obviously, there's some regulatory challenges. It's not like the free-for-all, going back 15 years. There's lots of regulatory challenges moving to different markets. So hopefully they'll bring to life how that will work out in practice. Okay, why this company? Okay, demo trading. I've seen that in lots of apps, but they don't claim it as a unique. Let's roll down to where is unique. Social media, don't really understand that. I mean, I do use a currency trading app where you can do copy trades, and there's social media. Don't really know what live streams are value add. Crypto tax. I mean, again, what does that mean in practice? How does it solve the crypto tax problem? I think I'm just really confused at this point. I kind of get it, it's an exchange, but I don't really understand how it's solving these problems based upon this description. Product overview. Okay, this isn't great. I think, and obviously this isn't the live. I'm assuming this isn't the live product. I assume it's a mock-up. I think when you're going to include a product overview in your deck, you either need somebody who can polish you up a Figma so it looks like a thing of beauty and looks like something I want to use. I think this is the worst of all worlds. It's not a product yet; it's a mock-up, but it's it looks. I would not want to use this. It looks like I've gone back to the 80s. Yeah, this isn't. If the product's developed, if this is where the product is in its development life cycle, obviously it's not releasable yet, and I wouldn't include this. And if not, I would spend a couple of £1,000 maybe on somebody to draw me up Figma representations. This is it's not putting this exchange in a good light, and there's I wouldn't want to use this platform. Okay, 10-year estimated long-term plan. Yeah, lots of this feels like lots of sequential activities. I think the nature of startups are you need to parallelize lots of these things because otherwise you won't be in the market for ages. So it feels like this is a very sequential plan and probably shouldn't be. I just don't understand what a Buoy's tax token is. There's something to read at the bottom there. It feels like this needs somebody talking through. As a read through deck, it's really hard to follow. Okay, IPO in 2032. Business model. Okay, right. What are we digesting here? So different trader fees, so how they actually earn money. Interesting that as a professional trader, it'd be interesting to work out how you move between newbie, intermediate, and professional, but I guess it's volume based. That's the only thing that would make sense. Advertising fees and subscription fees. Okay. I don't know what a normal business model looks like for a crypto exchange. I would think they make arbitrage on the market, so they're making money on every trade. There's nothing I can add really to this slide. I didn't find it easy to digest. Wow. Okay. 10-year estimated income statement. I'm looking forward to an amazing hockey stick here as always. I don't see what currency these are in. I'm assuming US dollars. 3 million minus EBIT in 2025. Something called peak bull, which I guess is a cycle in the crypto space. I've never heard of that, but okay. So they're losing 3 million in the first year, where I assume they're going to need funding to cover that. That is a punchy funding round. Yeah. Okay. Up to 7 billion in 10 years' time. Okay. I won't comment on the practicalities of a 7 billion EBIT within 10 years. I'm sure it's been done in the crypto space, but that would make this a massive outlier. What I would say on this, it's incredibly hard to read. Some of the numbers are in the, I don't even know, trillions potentially. So it would be great to simplify this. You certainly don't need to include cents and down at the, $1.06, whatever it is. Yeah, the numbers, it just needs simplifying to millions and billions so that you can digest it without a calculator and an Excel model. On the bright side, it shows they're swinging for the fences. So how much an investor would buy into this, is debatable based upon what I've seen so far. Team, I love a team slide, and I love the fact there's some credibility here with some logos. I assume that's where Joylin has worked in the past. Some interesting personal credibility statements there, which are good. I've not checked Joylin on LinkedIn, but that would be trivial to do. I think for this is an audacious raise. 3 million is a very significant raise in this space, and I get that it you need to develop something from scratch, and there's regulatory hurdles. I'm assuming, 3 million raise. I would expect a team ready to go to run with. Having one person here just destroys any credibility, no matter how strong the CV here. I would want to understand, where does Joylin fit into this? Is she CEO? Who's going to be the CMO? Who's going to be the technical team? I want to understand much more about the team that are going to drive this. And it's not credible to have one person on this slide. No advisors. It's just, it just feels limiting at this point. And has lost. I think this slide had the potential, if there was another slide behind with the rest of the team, to be adding credibility, but actually it just outlines there's only one person lined up. What do I need? Okay. So a very unusual slide. So the pie chart on the left seems to show in arbitrary measure that we need community traders, media, long-term strategic partners, and funding. It's a very unusual use for a pie chart on a slide like this, but what have we got on the right? So yeah, that's justifying the 3 million product development. A license doesn't mention what geography that would cover. Considering this is the 3 million raise, this is missing an incredible amount of detail. Obviously, they're mentioning a future funding round, potentially via a token sale, a seed round, and then an IPO. I won't speak to those. I think this deck needs to put best foot forward on the first funding round, and I just don't think it is yet. What else have we got? Traction so far. Okay, we've got a pitch with 33 reviews, a page with 34 followers, and 12 partners with an ongoing discussion. Okay, this to have any chance of raising anything like $3 million, your traction is going to be much, much, much stronger than this. I think if I were raising for this business, firstly, I think the deck I think it's got some good essentials. I think somebody's, followed the process of, the standard flow of what's the problem, what's the solution, what's the market, why us. I think they've had a go at that. I think the execution is not great in this instance. And it may be, I'm reading something that's 4 or 5 months out of date, so maybe it's much better. But in terms of traction, this slide, again, there are a couple of slides in this deck that do much more harm than good. And this is one of them, I think. The team slide wasn't great. It just highlights that the team isn't well formed yet. And this slide, again, these numbers are, I think it's a great movie quote. These are rookie numbers. This slide does much more damage than it does good. So I would be dropping this. That doesn't mean you're going to get away with saying that there isn't any traction. Your investors are, you're asking for £3 million. People will have expected you to achieve something. It's just, none of this adds credibility. It's a detractor. It's just not bolstering the business at all. Certainly not a 3 million raise. And that is it. So yeah, I guess chalk and cheese compared to the first deck. To recap, it feels like you need somebody talking through this deck in order to understand what it's about. The problem and the solution just need much more detail. To the founder here, you need support from somebody who can work through the flow of the deck, but also, the content and formatting. It's just not speaking to me as an investor, certainly not at this market size. There's missing parts here. It just feels like, it's a version 0.1 of the deck that you would put together, but, much work required. The forecast is very ambitious, but the credibility of this deck doesn't give me the confidence that these numbers are in any way achievable. Anyway, that's it for this one. Much shorter than the first review, but it's great to see a mixture of decks, and looking forward to the next one.